Nice.
Happy Sunday night, Transformers fans, Australia and New Zealand. This is Aussie Botcast back. We made it past our first month. We're into our second month, and we have our first YouTuber guest online. We survived and enjoyed thoroughly Jason Murray last week for our marathon session that went for about 3 hours and about 15 hours outside of it. But he was such quality. He gave us so much, and we enjoyed every single minute of it. We have so much footage from that our editor, Michael, has to move house in order to fit all the hardware he needs just to edit that time. But
he's a storyteller.
He's a storyteller. And we have another storyteller here in a different format. We're joined tonight by Uncle Chunt, and I'll introduce him formally in a second. But for now, tonight, we are joined, myself, Gary, Gaza, at Aussie Botcast. We're joined by Stel at Nefarious Clockwork, the Fock Weasel, Scott. We have Mikey, who also you'll see on Toy Reel YouTube channel. And we have Josh Z-Beam filling up our panel for tonight. And we do have Uncle Chunt in the room. Welcome, mate. We're so very glad to have you here, all the way from Queensland.
Greetings. Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me on. Been an avid viewer and interacting as much as I can, and yes, it's awesome. So thank you very much.
We appreciate having you on every week. And when I hit Chris up, I saw a video of yours, and I do want to talk a little bit about it tonight. But you've been on some form of video content creation, commentary for about 16 years. So I saw a lovely compilation video of all the things that you've done on your channel. And I know Chuntcast is fairly new, so that was really my prompt to kind of get you on and have a chat to it, as well as being an avid supporter. It's just been great to watch your videos and your commentary on many, many different things, pop culture. I also want to give a shout out to our viewers at Jason Murray. That Jason dude talks a lot. He does, but we loved every second of it, and we are absolutely looking forward to the TF Nation wrap-up coming in August, which is about how long I will need to recover from last week's episode. Spartan, thank you so much for joining us again. We'll be coming on soon, and we are going to have a kicker of a show tonight. So tonight's topic, we are going to get pretty much straight into tonight's topic, and starting to learn a little bit more about Uncle Chunt at the same time. But tonight's topic is why people are coming back to Transformers. And with a franchise that's spanned over 40 years, at some point, most of us have departed the franchise and come back to it at some point. Whether it's like, you went through puberty and it's just not a way to pick up girls or boys or whatever like that. It's not really an impressive thing at that age. Or it's something that you just kind of drifted away from because of a series ended or a figure line ended and the next line really didn't grab you, or for whatever reason. But it tends to have this lure that keeps drawing people back for one way or another. And no matter the iteration, whether it's the movies, the figures, the comics, the whatever, it does tend to bring people back. And that's part of the thing that we love about this franchise. But in order for us to talk about this franchise, we first have to talk about our guest. Chris Hunt, Uncle Chunt, welcome to the stream. Welcome to Aussie Podcast. And I think the first question I have for you is, I get the Chunt bit, and you were talking a little bit about in the show, and that is a hate that can be heard, folks. You were talking about a little bit on the show, there was a high school name that kind of stuck with you, but where does Uncle come from?
Yeah, I'm an uncle 7 times, so it just makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so none of my
Holy
kids, so
moly!
Yeah, my brothers have done that for me. I'll live vicariously through them, so that's fine.
Name all 7 right now. Here's the Uncle test. Name all 7 now.
Yeah, I'm not sure they would like that, but yeah. Oh, look, they're all blessed kids. They're all great, and it's an honor, and just to see them grow up and live through my brother's eyes, watching them do what they do. I'm very proud of them, and it's crazy how they do it. A lot of kids, but more power to them. But yeah, it just makes sense. I was looking for a name.
7 kids from one brother?
Nah, I got 2 brothers.
Okay, 2 brothers.
So they've been very busy. They can do that.
Okay. And what's the age range of your nieces and nephews?
I think oh God, that's putting me on the spot. Like 16 or something. Like actually one of them's 18. I think we're getting there. Yeah, that's probably the one of them's watching. I know, and they're probably cursing at me right now. But there's too many. I can't keep track of them all, and I forget how old I was. Like I thought I had my 40th. I thought I was 40 a couple of years ago, but then I wasn't. So I gained a year. I just don't keep track.
After 40, it doesn't matter, mate.
That's it.
And then my next question is, what kind of uncle are you? Like, are you the uncle that comes in like a storm? Like,
yeah, I'm a celebrity.
Throws the house out of whack and then just leaves and like smokes out.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I come down and it's like, oh yeah, get all the hugs and attention. And then when I go, it's all sad and stuff. But every time I come back, it's another event, like a celebrity, a welcome to red carpet. But I can be the cool uncle as well and do that fill that shoe, and but it's great, Unfortunately, I don't live close enough to them, but hopefully in future I'll be able to. But when I do visit, it's always special. And
nice.
Yeah, bless them all.
Now you mentioned that one of them might be watching tonight, but what's their take on your kind of passion for all things pop culture and the time and effort you dedicate to this?
Yeah, well, like in a previous area, like I've done games content for other outlets and stuff over the years, and so that was fun. Got to go to events and as press for EV Games Expo and stuff like that. And like I've met Phil Spencer, when he was the CEO of Xbox and all that, doing the Nintendo demos, and it was great. Like I really loved that period of my life and a lot of fun. Met a lot of friends that I'm still friends with now. And but I kind of let my own stuff go to the wayside, and I figured I'd go back to it and start getting back into it. Like we've all got day jobs, but I've missed my passions and with like art and talking. Like I enjoy talking. Like part of my day job, I do a lot of talking, so kind of is leaning on my strengths. And art in particular, like I'm learning animation, and I've always done drawing my whole life. And part of that was because of Transformers. Like we all grew up with a cartoon in front of us, and as kids you start drawing stuff, and it just went from there. I'm making my own comics, making my own kids books, learning animation, and I'm going to teach myself how to make a game after that and turn one of those things into a game, and just see if I can stretch my artistic talents as far as I can between work. But yeah, they love it. Like my brother's kids, like they draw and stuff as well, so it's nice to see them doing that and finding their own artistic talent. And my brothers, like they're into various different areas. Like one's into like heavily barbecuing, and the other one's like a nerd like me. He loves Transformers and gaming and stuff like he's a twin. We don't look the same. There's only enough room for one of me, but he's my twin. And like where I like DC, he's Marvel, he's PlayStation, I'm Xbox, that kind of stuff, like that kind of twin thing. We've always had that to bounce off each other. Even to this day, like we're still messaging each other, even though we live apart, about I see this Transformer, like this Galvatron thing that he's looking for. It's a third party Galvatron that came out, Sovereign 2.0 or whatever. So we share that kind of stuff still, and just reminiscing about the toys that we used to have growing up, and see eBay listings, and remember that we had that. Like you guys were talking about the turbo, what they called, the turbo chargers or turbo, can't remember what they're called. But we had a bunch of them.
Action Monsters.
Yeah, like that whole period, like just to remember like the G2 stuff, or the 1.0. 1.5, like that whole stuff. And I was like, oh wow. Like when you guys were talking about it the other week, I was like, oh man, I used to have some of those. And I was messaging my brother about it. And so like Transformers has always been there. And my kid, I did it again. My kid, they're not my kids, but they may as well be. I don't do the hard work. I just turn up and have fun and disappear.
Yeah.
But like they're into their own stuff as well. Like they appreciate the toys. One of them's a young kid, and he's getting into all that stuff as well. So it's just nice to see that Transformers has always been there, and I love it. Like, and it's good to see that the kids are still, resonating with it as well.
Now, I think you were talking about when we were talking about Joyride, who's coming up for a re-release, and he has the massive engine block that prohibits him from actually seeing where he's going when he's tearing down the drag strip. But I was going to ask, between you and your brother, is it an Autobot and Decepticon faction? Like, are you guys going that kind of, or is somebody GoBots and somebody Transformers?
No, we weren't a GoBot household, that's for sure. But like he loves Galvatron. You know, it's one of his favorites. And I'm always been a bit more of an Autobot. Like, I love Superman, and he likes whatever villain on Marvel. Like, he loves that kind of stuff. So we cover the bases. But yeah, we're pretty good like that. We get to experience both sides without sacrificing anything. It's good.
And before we get into the more Transformers talk, what was your first foray into like social media or putting your thoughts or your work out there, regardless of the field? Like, when did you first kind of step out into the online world?
Well, I think a lot of people, it was YouTube, right? Like, Facebook was always, I remember when Facebook just started, and I was doing a graphic design diploma at the time, and it was still new, and I didn't think it was going to be anything, but here we are. So like, I set up a Facebook account and then a YouTube account, and I posted Newgrounds as well. I remember Newgrounds was like an animation website. A lot of big things kicked off from there, and like, I posted an animation, like a very rough animation that I did one day. This is like, God, 20 years ago or something. I can't remember how long it is now, but anyway. But it was like just something I made up when I was drunk. It's a real wholesome story. But I had a gig. I played a gig out at a pub, in a band, and came home that night and had a funny story idea, and I just drew some very rudimentary characters and animated it at the time, and I recorded my voice over it just to have a bit of fun. Like, I read it like a kid's book, and I thought it was hilarious. And I woke up the next morning and I watched it again. I was like, oh wow, how the hell did I do that in the state I was in? And I showed a few people what the cartoon was, and they enjoyed it as well. I was like, oh, okay, there's something there. And it's just been something in the back of my memory for a long time. And all these years later, like, I had a mate of mine a few years ago asked me about it. He's like, did you ever do anything with that? And I was like, no, I didn't. He goes, oh, you should, because I was just thinking about it the other day, and I thought it was good. So that's what prompted me. And this is not, I didn't plan this. This is just where the conversation went here. What we're talking about. This is what prompted the book that I did recently. It's a kid's book, Kujibara and Harold, and that's what that came from. So I decided just to give it a go, as I'd never done a book before. So I just thought, I'll do that. I've never done a book, so I'm going to do that. And then I've never animated, so then I animated the book to a web series on YouTube, and like, so it's all that time ago where you just start dabbling in something. You don't really appreciate what it is at the time because you're too young, it's too new. But yeah, and over the years, like between then and now, like, I've met a lot of people online, various outlets. You can get exposure to certain industry people in the gaming world in Australia, like, people that you rub shoulders with EB Games management or Xbox management or Nintendo management or whatever, and you get review codes over the years, and you got to do reviews, and you get to have an excuse to play games before other people. And like, Zack Snyder's Justice League was another one. So the Binge, the streaming service, like, reached out to me and contacted me asking if I wanted to have a screener copy, like, to watch the movie before it came out and do a review on it. So I was stoked because I'm a DC guy through and through. And so when they contacted me about that movie, because I love those movies, the Zack Snyder movies, and so that was amazing, being able to sit there and know that I'm one of a select bunch of people in Australia right now watching this before the rest of the country. I was like, that was like a high point for me, just as a fan and just for what I do. But so that was amazing, and that's what pushed me over 1,000 subscribers at the time, because I hadn't really taken it seriously. And I put the review out, and it just went bang. And I was like, oh, okay, so that's what it feels like, right? And had I not have to need to hold a day job, I would have ridden that wave, so to speak. But yeah, like, I've done everything, like, as far as that goes. Like, I've given it a go at streaming, given it a go at commentary, given it a go at reviews, making original content, live streaming, drawing, and all that kind of stuff. But I love it. It's just creativity. It's always been a part part of me, and I'd love to do it more. But so yeah, that's a long answer to the easy question.
Right, we don't mind a long answer at all. I've just chucked your YouTube channel in the chat as well, and I do have a slide for Quidjibo and Harold. One of my questions was going to be, how do I pronounce the Quidjibo? So that's answered that question. Carnival, Carnival, we will get to your question. Thank you for your support, though. Loving the podcast. What do you think of Wild King with Rexblade? We'll divert a little bit and we'll chat about that, because we are about to talk about the bots. So, Sunstreaker here, I know, is one of your favorites. This is Missing Link. Sunstreaker as well. And you are from G1er, right? You're a G1 fan. So let's talk a little bit about that. In terms of when you first kind of fell in love with the series, was it the series that you fell in love with, or did you find the figures first, or how did you first encounter G1? And do you remember what was going through your brain at that time when you found them?
Yeah, I mean, the cartoon, like, hands down. Like, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us will speak from experience. I mean, the cartoon, right? Like I don't come from money, so we didn't have a lot, right? When we got a toy, it was like really special. So the cartoon came first. And I remember a fond memory. Unfortunately, I never had Sunstreaker as a kid, but I had Wheeljack. That was my first G1 figure. And my brother's was Sideswipe. So we had those for a long time. And then eventually we got like Starscream, like each we got our own. And I remember there's one time when I bring up Sunstreaker, Sideswipe and Wheeljack, our dad was like, okay, you've got a choice to make, because we're in a toy shop. He goes, you can either get an Optimus Prime and share it, or you get one of each for yourself. So I remember being like, oh, like, it'd be really awesome to have an Optimus Prime, but I don't want to share. So we opted to get one of our own.
Someone's got to end up with the trailer and roller, and otherwise someone else ends up with the truck, right?
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, but Sunstreaker, I just really like the character. Like, he's all about himself. His paint job. It is what it is. I just like the character. And I love the Lamborghini Countach. I think it's an amazing vehicle. I'd never fit in one, but I think it's just an amazing design.
Incredibly uncomfortable cars, aren't they? Crazy.
So I've heard, yeah.
For small people.
I'd like to be uncomfortable enough to afford one.
Yeah, that's
And so with your kind of passion for, animation and graphics, did you venture into the comics as well when the actual comic books came out, or was that something
not a lot, but my brother had some of the G2 comics and they came out. I remember at the time being like, wow, like, these are pretty brutal, like, as a kid, for me anyway. But yeah, they were wild. Like, just the green, the green tank Megatron and Optimus Prime, and it was really the cartoon and the movie, like the animated movie, man. I know we all love it, but that was on replay all the time at home. Like, it was just like we wore out the VHS. Like, we go back to the rental store and rent it again. It's just one of those memories that will always be there. And Peter Cullen's voice is another thing. Like, as a kid. Like, I'll speak from my experience. I don't know if my brother had the same thing, but Optimus Prime's voice just stuck with me forever, right? I'm sure we've got our own story about that, but there's just something about the way he spoke, just the voice in general. Like, it's an awesome voice, but it was one of those fatherly voices that characters you don't really hear a lot of, and it's just been iconic and it stayed with me ever since. And, I've had the pleasure to meet Peter Cullen in person, had an experience there with him, and so I mean, I don't want to tell all my stories straight up. But like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I can go into it now if you like.
Go for it. Go for it. Like, actually, I think we should wait so Mikey can let the anticipation build.
Okay.
We'll save it for.
I've gone from liking you to hating you just in one sentence. It's great.
Please tell us the Cullen story, please.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I mean, so that's the voice has always been there, and it's always had that feeling to me, right? So when I finally got to meet him, I've got a photo with him and an autograph and stuff as well. So I went in and went up to him in the line, and I didn't know what to say to him. Like, you just never know. And it's like, that's the guy, you know. Yep. And I just had to just tell. I've kind of fumbled, and I'm like, oh, look, you know, I love what you've done with Optimus Prime, and your voice means like this to me, and it's always been in the back of my mind as like a kind of that kind of voice of compass kind of thing. And it's just had a big impact on my life and as an adult. And I've kind of, I think inadvertently, the way my moral compass has moved is not because of just me as a person inherently, but you know, people like Superman and Optimus Prime, like that's just naturally I've gravitated to that. Yeah. And I was telling him all about this stuff, and he got a bit emotional about it, and we both had a bit of a moment. And he was like, "Oh, God, oh, that means so much," and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, "Oh, you know," and I was starting to blubber. I'm like, "Look, you're making a 30-year-old man kind of bubble up here," and you know, and it was a nice moment. He shook my hand and kind of had one of those, you know, we locked eyes and all that kind of stuff. But it was one of those kind of experiences where I knew like he appreciated it, and I did too. So when I went and waited for my opportunity to get a photo with him, I walk in and he recognized me. And he's like, "Oh, you know, oh, thank you for coming back, you know, and like come over here and we got a photo with him." I just had to tell him like again, like, "Hey, look, you know, this has been an amazing day for me," because I don't live in, at the time I didn't live in Brisbane or whatever it was. I was still in central Queensland. So it's a big deal for me to go out of town and come down and just to meet you. And you've meant, like, your role as Optimus Prime has meant so much to me, and what your voice has done for so many people and for me. And you know, and shook his hand, and he kind of he just held my hand a bit tighter after I said all that on the way out. I was holding up a line, I don't give a stuff. And he held my hand a bit tighter, and he's like, you know, "Thank you for being here," and like stories like that makes all this like worth it. And I was like, "Oh, look, you know, awesome, like thank you for everything," and just kind of had my day with him, and off I went. And I'll never forget that. Like, it was such an amazing thing. That was when I only just started getting into conventions and stuff, because not many people come here, right? It's very hard, very expensive to come here. And like, yeah, I think about that day often. It's just one of those rare things. Like, you know, he doesn't come here a lot, I know that, but sometimes you just got to go and just throw the gauntlet and find the money and just have an experience. And I'll never forget it. So I've got the picture of he and I framed and all that. And yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Which event in Queensland was it that you?
Supernova,
yeah, great event.
Yeah.
Great event. There's more coming up. Michael, he shared this on the groups. Michael Vella, he got to meet Christopher Lloyd and got him to sign his Gigawatt. Because Back to the Future is his other like major franchise that he loves, and yeah, that's super cool. It's super cool. I can understand why you know, because you have to be patient on those days. There's a lot you have to go through to kind of get those signatures and stuff like that. And I can understand why people do it, especially such you know, established and long-serving artists that serve those characters so well. So that's phenomenal. You know, when I was growing up, and I'd watch Voltron, right? And Peter Cullen would voice the intro for Voltron.
Yeah,
it was so fun. It was so cool. And then I spent the rest of the series trying to I wanted to hear that voice again, like in the show, voicing some sort of huge like
100%.
robot or heroic character, because it's just such a brilliant voice. And I think many people will know this, but if you don't, this could be something new. But you know, he's frequently talked about how he based how Optimus Prime leads on his brother. Speaking of brothers, and he talked about his brother being in the military, and when he was talking about, you know, auditioning for this part or speaking about this character, that his brother said something like, "Be a hero, but don't be that typical kind of bravado hero, right? Be a hero that people respect and lead." And he is. He's a father figure type. That I think that's what resonates with a lot of people.
Be strong enough to be gentle.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. 100%. So that's a really, really cool thing. Now, this is Missing Link Sunstreaker. When they come out with a Missing Link wheeljack, how quickly will you pick that figure up? Or is that something that, does a Missing Link series interest you?
I appreciate it, right? The price, I don't. But I have a Masterpiece Sunstreaker that my brother got me some years ago. It's my only Masterpiece, and it's fine. That's the only one I need. But look, I love the concept. I think it's hilarious in the greatest way because I appreciate the original toy line. I do. But through modern lenses, you can see we have it so good today. I'm probably not going to be the biggest fan of anybody after saying stuff like that about the original line, but I mean, come on, it's like G.I. Joe toys. I mean, you look at the G.I. Joe classified line, it's just so far superior to what we had back in the day, right? Yeah. Now, not saying it's still awesome. Like the concept alone is genius. Like you go back and look at it, what we had back then. Anything else, there was nothing like it. But I love how they're doing the Missing Link line now with the articulation that you thought and wished that you had as a kid, because it's all great to transform, but you can't do anything. Like the arms don't move and they had no knees and stuff like that. Like I remember as a kid when I had my wheeljack, it's like, yeah, this is awesome, but his legs are stuck together, and he can't do anything. Yeah.
That's a great thing, right? We have choice. That's the brilliant thing about all of this is that we have choice. There's no matter what kind of collector or fan you are, you've got choices in this fandom, and that's a really cool thing. And it's the same for all the franchises as well. I just want to give a shout out to Jason again. He said, "What an awesome story! Lovely to get a comment from a con guest to let you know you actually connected with them in a memorable way." Yeah, that's really cool. Because I don't know about you guys, but I've hopped in those lines for various different people I met over the years, and I try and send myself the best possible vibes to say something cool or thoughtful or insightful or charming. And then you get there and you're like,
yeah, what do you say?
I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah, his face was literally,
Got a blithering mess.
Well, I actually had this. I had this starstruck moment actually quite recently. It was either last year or the year before, when notoriously hard to pin down Giancarlo Esposito was in Australia. And if you don't know, he will basically say all over the world he's coming to your event and then last minute back out. But yeah, you gotta hate those ones. But fortunately enough, we had the brilliant opportunity to not only meet him for a signature, but also attend the panel of his and get good seats for that. But when I took myself and my friend up to meet him, we were so awestruck by him because he's really famous. He's probably one of the top tier guests that Supernova's ever had. And other than Stan Lee, of course. But we got up to him and he's just like, "Oh, great, you love this." And then he quoted a show that he was in, and me and my mate were just standing there and we're just like, yeah. And we he was trying to prompt responses out of us, and we were just shitting ourselves and just looking at him, and we low key made him kind of feel uncomfortable. But it was quite an experience, and actually, the first famous person I met was Paul Lighting, who voiced Perceptor and Grandpa Max from Ben 10.
Oh, cool.
And he's cool. I've actually got two really cool signed pieces from him. One Titans Return Perceptor in box, and one of the book style Perceptors in box. And I cherished those. And I got a photo with him, of course. But I get the whole being, you get your bravado and you're just like, yeah, I'm going to be really cool. I'm going to be like, hey, how you going? Blah, blah, blah. But when you actually get up to them, they're like, hi. And then you just shit yourself.
Yeah, it's natural.
Yeah, that's it. Well, they're someone that you've kind of followed from afar or been a fan of from afar. So it's only natural to have that. And so you went from Chris, you went from Generation 1 to Beast Wars, right? You're also a fan of the Beast Wars franchise. A nice silhouette picture here of Beast Wars. So was it a straight run for you, or did you have obviously there's a bit of time that's elapsed between the two series. Did you fall out of the series and come back to it during Beast Wars, or did the further kind of continue from Generation 1 to straight into Beast Wars?
Yeah, I fell off. Like I think a lot of people did, and like I during those years, like I was going through a lot of change as well, and but I remember like Cheese TV back in the day when they put Transformers back on TV, and it was like Generation 2 and the Cube and all that stuff, right? And you're like, oh wow, okay. I mean, this was the same show I watched when I was younger, and they just repackaged it. Okay, I guess. But that was cool just to see it on screen again. But I remember coming home one day from school, and my mum was like, "Hey, I want you to watch this show," because she knew, like, she always knew that I like to draw and all this kind of stuff, and supported me in that way. And there was a show called Reboot and like that stuff that I was into. And I'm sure we're all aware of what Reboot is. And Beast Wars came on in the afternoon, and I didn't know about it at the time until I came home. And then my mum was like, "Hey, I want you to watch this show." And it was the episode The Spark. Was the first episode of Beast Wars I saw, and I was blown away. I was like, "Oh wow, what's this show?" But my first reaction was like, "This isn't Transformers. Like, what? What is this? Like, where's Optimus Prime? Truck not monkey." And but like, I loved it. I was like, I got used to it, and I watched it every day, and I would run home to press record on the VHS, and Beast Wars just reignited my love of Transformers and just the idea of it, and the concept and the location and the story. And then when you start seeing the drips of the G1 stuff coming through, and you're like, oh man, oh hell yeah, like this is great. They actually thought about it here, and like they took it to the next level. Like it's not just a kid's show, like it's an actual story and a narrative, and well-developed characterizations and characters. And oh man, like it's still peak TV. Like even to this day, I think it's some of the best TV ever made. It's amazing. Like some of the season 1 looks a bit rudimentary today, but like the character's still there, and this is great to see like Mainframe Entertainment evolve through Reboot and Beast Wars in that same time. You can tell in the next season where they upgraded their software, and everything looks a bit better, and they've got some perspective and depth of field and like extra graphics and particle effects, and you're like, oh wow, like this is extra nice now. But like I've got all the DVDs and box sets, and like I just love it, and I want to watch it with my wife one day. Because she likes the Beast Wars stuff. Also, like she loves all that kind of stuff as well. So, but yeah, Beast Wars. My mum would buy the toys, and I appreciate it more now. You don't, as a kid, how expensive they were. Like, oh yeah, I brought some show and tell. This is the last. I had the original, like what they call Ultra Class, Optimus Primal and Megatron, and I had I had Polar Claw, I had Rat Trap, I had the Transmetal stuff, I had Cheetor, Dinobot, and like I had a lot more than I realized back then. But over time, I've had to sell all of it, and the last I have is Transmetal 1, Optimus Primal. It's the last original piece that I've got. Oh, there you go on screen. Yeah, the last original piece that I've got. And the back is all a bit yellowed and stuff like that over time. But I mean, the front still looks nice. It's crazy how this has survived the test of time, this one. But just this, like, I love this design. Like, I think it's so cool. And it's like, I never would have thought about that. Like a monkey, that's a robot monkey that has an inbuilt hoverboard with tonfas or whatever, clubs and stuff, and in the blue, like it's such a beautiful chrome blue, and it's stuck with like Transmetal, man. I love Transmetal. Like I can't wait. I hope they do more of it in the mainline series now. Like I've got all the Beast Wars figures from the new line and stuff, but man, Optimus Primal, like it wasn't my favorite first off, but by the end of like season 2, I'm like, this guy, he's just up there for me. Like Gary Chalk.
Only
was like so good.
Only the radical 90s could give us a, what is it, gray? Oh, what? I don't even like light brown and metallic blue monkey.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, that also rides a surfboard and has clubs and a megaphone.
Yeah. Yeah.
For all of his epic speeches. Yeah, it's so cool. It's an underrated primal evolution, I think.
100%. And like Transmetal Megatron as well. Oh man, that design so awesome. But just like David K's like, yes, like that whole thing is so awesome.
Holy shit, that was awesome. That was really good.
Was it? I think not Pussycat. No, like I love it. Like he's just
that's great,
so
man.
Just Beast Wars is peak to me, and story wise, it's better than story wise. I'll say it's better than G1, but like conceptually, Transformers G1, you can't replicate it. Like that's a lightning in a bottle situation. It's just such a genius idea, and like we're still here talking about it. Like 40 years later, right? And Beast Wars is just a natural, I think, evolution of the franchise. Like, okay, you've done vehicles to death. Okay, we'll have a go at like living things and put it back in time so there's no humans, and I love that. Like technically there's no humans in the series, and it's just so focused because of the budget constraints. They can only model so many characters because it's so expensive, and the carefully picked selection make the characters stand out, which Mainframe always did, and it's just incredible. But like that figure, it's so good. I'm glad I kept it. Like it's the one thing I chose out of all the original stuff I used to have.
It's a great choice.
100%.
Have you got the third-party version? Have you got the third-party Masterpiece version? Yeah, okay.
No, but I've wanted to. But I'm holding off because I don't do third-party.
Okay.
No real reason. Just like I want just the proper stuff, and I want it to fit in my collection. And
of course.
I guess we'll get to it when I actually came back full tilt in 2019. But I mean, I had a break after Transformers. I think a lot of after Beast Wars.
Because it's Beast Machines. How unhinged was that?
It was all right.
Oh
People
man,
I remember getting so much, but
I remember getting Optimus in his Beast Machine deco, and I was like, this has no connection to the cartoon whatsoever.
But it tried to do some interesting stuff with the Sparks becoming, like it turns out that the Viacons weren't Viacons originally, and that the Jetstorm and all of his minions.
I love the story.
Rhinox and all these other Sparks. I found that really interesting. Like
it was a cool story, but
good concept.
Weird.
So. Like these Sparks are trapped in these slave bodies that they've got nowadays, and they still feel the same way they did back then, but now they've got this murderous thoughts going through their heads, and it was just fascinating stories.
Yep.
Well, the reason why always looked not poor. They didn't look anything like the character models was because all of the toys were based off concept art, and I just don't think that they had time to. It was such a short turnaround for the show getting up and the toys getting out that they just went with the concept art toys. They looked in the ballpark of what they were going for, but the Beast Machines toys are pretty bad looks wise, but like
bad.
They're fun.
I've got like a whole ton of them, and they're just they're not.
They're not like
fantastic.
The
not
Mega
ideal
Cheetor or whatever it was.
Ultra Class Cheetor.
The extended legs, like
the whole gimmick is, hey, it's a transformer that turns into a cat that's the size of a house cat. Go nuts, kids. Who wants like that?
Well, I think it's Beast Machines as a whole. Like it's interesting concept, just poor execution.
Yes,
100%.
Yeah, I think the story arcs. Talking about the animation, the story arcs in the character development in Beast Wars was brilliant. But as soon as I saw the first episode of Beast Machines, that shit freaked me out. Right, like I was like, what the hell? I could not get past the design of the characters when I first watched that series, and it really we were talking about like having repeat efforts at a series that you didn't have an immediate kind of falling in love with just for the sake of the story, and I really had to work hard to kind of get involved in that story at all because I kept hitting up against the animation, the character design time and time again. It was just freaking me out. For the fans, Uncle Chunt, Can you
That's
give
my
us a
brother.
bit of? Can you give us a couple of nice deep quotes, please?
So, yes. Yes, Uncle Chunt, yes. Toodles claws, yes. That's my
Because
brother.
the fans demanded. The fans demanded that. Yes. Megatron in the bathtub with his rubber ducky.
Yep.
Remember that?
He knows who he is.
His rubber ducky. He knows who he is.
Brushing
Armada
his
was
little
also,
teeth.
Yeah.
Armada was also one of the series that kind of appealed to you.
Yeah. 100%. And I agree with the comment from Robert Smith. Transmutate still haunts me to this day. Yes. Like it's what a just random episode, you know, but it took risks. Like that was the great thing about Beast Wars. And I'll get sorry, we're talking about Armada, but like Beast Wars took some risks and it was great to see, you know. But yeah, anyway. So Armada, like I had a break, right? Obviously, again, I didn't really gel with Beast Machines and just kind of fell out for a number of years and you know, you grow up a bit and do whatever else you need to do. And then I remember Cartoon Network promoting this new show, this new Transformers show. I was like, oh wow, okay, awesome. And I like some of the character designs look sweet, you know, and I saw Optimus and I was like, God, that's cool. You know, yeah, it's about time they actually did something with his trailer, you know. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll check this out. And I watched the first episode and the animation was awesome, like it's polished and stuff like that. You know, it didn't stay that way for the rest of the show though, but it was just I love the concept and like mini cons, cool, you know, and you know it's around Pokemon hype and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's collect them all. You know, I appreciate that's fine to do something with some micro bots. So of course there's mini cons, of course, like that makes sense. And I just love the whole thing. You know, I love the concept of it. And I had a bit of play money at the time, and I remember finding Optimus Prime in the shops in Big W. And I was like, okay, I've never had my Optimus Prime. Never had one. It's my first Optimus Prime. I'm buying one, you know? So I took my paycheck that week and got myself an Optimus Prime and took it home and it's like transforming itself and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is wild. Like, what a good experience. Like, what a great toy, you know? And I held on to that thing for years. It was one of the things I parted ways with. I gave it to my brother a couple of years ago because I got the new Legacy one. And I was like, here you go. It's still awesome. Like the old one's still great. It still transforms. It still works. You know, the lights, I think, and sound still work. But you know, it's had better days. But what a great toy. But the whole Armada concept and the PS2 game and the collecting the mini cons, and it was just great to see it reinvented again in a way that clicked with me. And back to trucks and cars and planes, but just wild, like modern designs and you know the anime aesthetic. Like I've never really was into anime, but it just something about it appealed to me and the way they approached it. And seeing Gary Chalk and David Kay coming back as well to do you know the respective roles and all that, and I just loved it. Like I think they really hit it with that one. Unfortunately, you know the animation let it down for the rest of the series, but you know you can't forget Tidal Wave. Like what a cool, massive concept. You know, scaling in that series didn't make sense either, so it was very G1. So, well, just the whole thing of, you know, you got your partner minicon, of course, you know, and it's toyetic, so it unlocks an extra ability and it's fun, you know, and just all about it. Like I have a real soft spot for Armada. It's very anime, and I'm not a fan of some parts of the series, but overall, you know, they're still memorable characters, you know, like Cyclonus and Sideways and, you know, all that throughout the series. Like Hotshot, I didn't like him at the time, but he grew on me, right? Red Alert, I thought he was really cool. I was like, oh, who's this RoboCop dude? You know, and he just always looked cool. Like they look like the toys, and that was the other thing. Right? They looked like the toys.
So
finally,
good.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 2 game was so good, and it was made in Australia apparently.
Yeah, Melbourne House.
No, 100% it was. It was made in Melbourne House. Melbourne House.
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Had so much depth to it, and the whole replayability of picking up new mini cons and going back to earlier stages and getting to newer areas that you couldn't reach before. I was like, this is so well thought out. And how anyone would decide this is bad for business to make such a good game to never pick them up and get more, because they were onto a really good formula, and it's a really, really solid game still to this day. And the battle with Tidal Wave, oh my god,
Tidal Wave battle,
Tidal Wave's
that
awesome.
was amazing. It just
Going
blew my mind.
This is like, what the hell?
Yeah, what do? You run around a beach sniping him from a distance.
Yeah.
Like, That's the only way I could get it.
Just ragdoll
The
everywhere.
only
Yeah.
thing, the only thing is with that game was it was so like I got it when I was like, young, and it was so difficult that I didn't even get. I got up to who was it? I got up to the first encounter with Starscream, and I just couldn't get past him. And it's a notoriously difficult game, and unless you know what you're doing, unless you equip the correct minicons in the correct order, and all this stuff. But the great thing about it is once you get the hang of it, it is really fun and really doable. And not only do you, it's like one of the only games in history. I think it might be the only game in history where you go through a level and by the end of the level, the level boss is the level. So like you run around in tidal wave, trying to sabotage the warship, and then the warship just stands up and it's just like, oh, well, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
And then also it's the first time you could ever fight Unicron, which is also very cool. And which I didn't know about Tidal Wave or Unicron was in the game until one day I was on the playground overhearing some older kids talking about the game. And they're just like, oh yeah, how cool was the Tidal Wave battle? I'm just like, hey, what are you guys talking about? It's just like, oh yeah, the Armada game is just like, there's a Tidal Wave battle? I'm just like, yeah, Tidal Wave. And then when you get to the end of it, you get to Unicron. So then I go home, look up all the cheats, and then just plow right through the game.
Get the old game genie out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, gents. Like we throughout and this isn't particularly just about this game, but there's been incidences throughout the fandom where we've had a really good iteration of something, like a really good series or a really good movie or a really good game, and it kind of has never been followed up on, right? Do you reckon that's part of what has driven people away from the franchise at times, that they've just been so frustrated that something that was such a good iteration, let's use the game as an example, right? It was such a good iteration, and then it never really kind of gets fully actualized or followed up on, and then the next release is, a completely different flavor or a subpar flavor. Do you think that leads to driving people out of the fandom at times or away from it?
Yeah, the reinvention that's consistent definitely has a factor. Like people get right into something and then a year later it's dropped and it's something new, or there's a year gap and then you got to get into the new version. And that lack of continuity, even though there's recurring themes, really does test the fandom, You're
right. Like another example is Power Rangers, right?
Yeah.
So Super Sentai reinvents itself every year, right? But when it came to America, they had 3 seasons of the same group, right? And when they decided to finally change from Mighty Morphin to Turbo or Zeo, right? I was a kid at the time, and I was like, "What's this? This isn't. I don't recognize this." And it kind of tuned out, right? But as an adult, like I appreciate it now. But everybody has their season of Power Rangers or seasons. Everybody has their seasons of Transformers. Everybody's got their own. Like Energon and Cybertron. Like I fell out again, right, on those ones because I was like, oh, this animation looks really bad. And Kicker's, I didn't like Kicker, and was it Hotshot or whatever? Like I just couldn't stand his voice, and I was like, yeah, this is annoying as, and I just tuned out. But I appreciate what it was trying to do. I just wish they didn't animate the way they did, where it's so blocky and jilted, and like it just wasn't appealing. Even though some of the designs look really cool, like Rodimus looked awesome, right? But yeah, you're right. It does have an impact, because by the time you've established a fan base, it's changing again, and that familiarity's gone, right? So if you want to develop another game, so Armada 2, which they were developing one, they'd already moved on. Like Energon's next or whatever, right? So who cares about Armada anymore? Because they're selling the next thing.
Yeah.
And Hasbro does that a lot with the games too. Like they just like you just pointed out, they release a great game, but then they just sort of don't go anywhere with it. Like Devastation, like by all metrics, that sold well, was very well received and done very well. But that was how many years ago now, and we still haven't seen another one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they keep doing that, but they do. They're sort of like, this is one and done, but they could carry it on.
And the cliffhanger on that game. Like, come on.
Yeah, it screamed for a sequel, and then it never got one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100% right.
Heartbreaking. Again, not an uncommon occurrence in this franchise. So you departed the series again, you departed the fandom again after Armada, and then came back in the Siege times.
Oh, yes.
Cybertron Siege.
Oh, yes.
Stelios has given just a little like.
Yes.
It marked the beginning of a golden age that we're still in the middle of, in my opinion. I think everything since Siege and Studio Series taking off has been fantastic.
1000%. Like War for Cybertron, man, I don't know how they're going to top that. Like, I still have this one, War for Cybertron Optimus, like the 360 PS3 game, right?
Yep.
Like that was my iteration at the time. I was like, they can't get better than this. Those games are fantastic. But then Siege happened, and my brother, I didn't know about it, but my brother is in the chat. He sent me a picture of Optimus Prime and Prowl and Hound. And he's like, look at these. And I was like, oh my God, like they look so awesome, And I was like, well, I guess I've just signed up for the next 10 years of, losing money, and I'm building a Transformers collection now, I guess. Like I started with 3, which is Prime, Hound, and Sideswipe. I was like, that'll do. Right. But you all know that's never enough. Right. That doesn't happen that way. And I'm still here. I've got like shelves full of them behind me, Unicron over there. I've got Tidal Wave and everything up here, and all the Siege Titans. I've got all the Titans now, and like insanity. Like what an amazing concept. I loved how they went back to Cybertron and they had Cybertron modes. Like I love that. That's my favorite. Like Earth, like I live on Earth all the time. Earth bores me. Like give me. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Algan. Yeah. You're the reason why I financial issues. So man, like the Cybertron modes, like I love Prowl, so small and sleek. Like when you transform into vehicle mode, it's seamless, man. I'm like, how do they do that? It's so small, so I was enjoying getting back into Transformers and just going, wow, this is what they can do today. Oh my God, they're smaller than they used to be, but they're really, really good, and the plastic felt good. They're solid, you can actually, feel like you're going to break them. And just the designs are awesome. I didn't mind the battle damage so much. There was some that was a bit egregious than others, but we got bloody Jetfire and Skylinks and all that stuff happening. I was like, wow, this is so good. They're doing all of them. Like, what a time to rejoin. Like 2019 was like, if you want to build a Transformers collection, do it now because it's all coming, and you're not going to have to go on the third-party network later to try and pick it all up for like double or triple the price. You just pick it all up in retail, you're good to go, right? So, God, it's just crazy. And Earthrise and Kingdom. Kingdom was fantastic. Right, I can wax lyrical about these trilogies that we've had. I even like the Netflix series that they did for War for Cybertron, Kingdom and Earthrise. I really like that. I would buy a Blu-ray if they did it. Right, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like this whole line was incredible. I didn't like the bone Transformers that they brought out, the fossilizers. I didn't really like that. But these guys... I'm jumping all over shops. You've bloody got me excited. These guys, these Rock Lords or Infernac dudes, man. Like when they brought those out,
great.
I was like, God, yeah, that's awesome, right? And I put them with my Beast Wars figures because it makes sense. Like, because there's G1 stuff there. G1's vehicles, but it's prehistoric, so they're rocks, and like, yeah, God, look at them, man. They're so cool. So what a concept. Like, they took a risk on that. Like, yeah, let's put just some rock Transformers out. I was like, yeah, Rock Lords are awesome. Like, I call them Rock Lords. I don't care if they're from Infernac. Like, whatever, they're mine. I can call them whatever I like. Yeah, 100%, man. Like, yeah, respect. So, like, this whole toy line, like Legacy and Earthrise and Siege and Age of the Primes, and like, God, it's so epic. Like, what are they going to do after this? Like, I'm to the point now where I'm being very selective because I've got everything I want. And it's like, okay, we're drip dropping characters and obscure stuff now. I'll just pick up what I like. But like, I don't know what they're going to do. Like, you've done G1 to death. You're now doing Armada, thank God. And you've done Beast Wars. I hope you do more Transmetals, like more Showbots, please. But after that, like, I can't. I'll have to be a financial institution to do this again. But what are you going to do? Like, what's next? Like, actually do some new original designs or something? Like shock horror.
I have a slight feeling they may touch on something that they haven't. They've only done a little bit of, and that is probably more G1. Because
wow.
that is what
you don't
they
say.
absolutely.
My God.
You don't say.
That is the one thing Hasbro loves to milk, and it is just G1. So, but like, how good? Like, speaking of Armada, how good we've got the rumored Demolisher and Cyclonus, 2 toys that I've been yearning for years. And we need more variety. I think if Hasbro just would listen to us, just give us a little bit more variety, give us some more animated, give us some more Prime, give us some more Unicron trilogy. I'm actually really liking the what do you call it show, the internet based show.
Is it the Machima one?
No, the one that's on YouTube. See, I love it so much. I don't know what it's called.
Whatever it's called. Yeah. It's like all
really
like they got like leaves and like it's like dinosaurs and they
that one as well. That one's cool. I would love articulated version of Wild King stuff. That'd be cool.
Well,
Wild King would be
had
great.
that
Cyberworld, that's the one. Yes.
Earlier.
Cyberworld, yes. Cyberworld.
That's so awesome. Look at it.
So this was actually a question from at Carnival. And I didn't have this in the slides originally, but he brought it up. And I did actually see this earlier in the week. This is from the Wild King series. And it is, we looked at the Soundwave a couple of weeks ago, but this has quite an involved transformation for the line that it's in. And it's actually pretty intricate in terms of what it does. What's your take on this? This is Wild King Rex Blade. Gentlemen, I think it's brand new.
There's some version of this that's sold out. I saw online, like it came with a particular accessory that you can't get at retail or whatever.
Yeah, so in Wild King, you get different packs of these. So you can either buy Rex Blade by himself or Rex Blade with, because I believe he's also one of the characters that can combine with the smaller figures. There would have been one exclusive set where you can buy Rex Blade with an exclusive micro figure. I don't actually know what they're classifying the little beasts as, like what referring master or something like that or anything. But this is nice. This is a breath of fresh air that I really like. Cool blue dinosaur dude. I think he's a good guy as well. I think he's an Autobot or maybe a new faction. But yeah, how like bizarre, really cool blue Autobot warrior or whatever that turns into a T-Rex and a bloody 4x4.
Like a rat trap car mode,
Yeah, almost it's very Transmetals. Exactly. I didn't think about that. It's very Transmetals, like T-Rex quad bike mode. Stuff like this we need more.
A Zoid's
I think it looks like a Zoid. It looks a bit like a Zoid.
It does look like a Zoid, 100%. Yeah, he looks great.
It came out yesterday in Japan, apparently. So that's pretty cool.
What was the price around? Right?
No, I have no idea. If you guys know in the chat what the prices of old Wild King Rex Blade, please let us know. Back in the day, and Chris, you talked about it before, like we used to like put off going to school because we're watching Cheese TV in the morning and watch it right up until the end, or we used to keep ourselves fit by sprinting home after school to catch the shows that started at 3:30. And then now we've got these series coming out on YouTube, these short form series coming out on YouTube. And I think it's the way to start reaching the next generation, because when they release series like Earth Spark and even for the younger kids, Rescue Bots, that was still streaming on like TV, and TV just doesn't have the same draw as it did when we were kids, right? Like it's not quite that same generational impact. Back in the day, if a show was popular, everyone would watch it because you've only got a choice of like 3 channels. But here we've got so much choice that showing something on TV, even if it's a good series, it doesn't really hit the the radar of the kids watching it. But you put something on YouTube or it has a web presence in that format, and it gives you the opportunity to reach new audiences again.
It's
and I
on
guess
demand.
yeah, it's on demand, and it's one of these things I think they need to continue doing if they're going to keep reaching the next generation and engaging the current generation of fans. Oh no, hang on, that can't be right. That's I think that's for Thunderton. I hope this guy isn't $130. I hope he's not $130. Oh, here we go.
Well, yeah,
$100 AUD. Holy Julie!
it's because so this line is so the Wild King line is a Takara exclusive line that has no intention of being brought over to the US or Australia. So the import, I think the thing, so this figure would probably go for about $75 to $80 at retail, because it's quite a it's a leader-ish kind of scale. It's leader class, right? No, to be leader class, modern leader class. But the fact that it has to be imported and all that would add to the thing, and it wouldn't surprise me if, Amazon Japan, there you go. So if you can get a good deal on shipping from Amazon Japan, or I don't know if they do free or whatever, but it really sucks because we're getting these new fresh ideas, and only a certain part of the world is getting them, not the rest of us, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, what's up with that?
It absolutely does. Absolutely does.
Happens a lot though with those Japan exclusives. Like they always get really, really cool stuff, and we never see it.
It's unfair.
Yeah.
Unfair.
That's like this makes it worth going to Japan for a wee visit, and then you pick up all the stuff cheap. Like so cheap over there to pick up all
the tourism incentive.
Yeah, I got most of the Robot Masters over there for like $20 or $30 Australian, and ones that we'd never see. Like I got Sideways and all of these ones, and it's just sitting there in a random shop, and it's like $20, and you're like, "Are you sure you don't want more?" Like,
score.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Uncle Chunt, you have the prestigious title of the one who's got most of their family to watch us in.
Yeah, my brother and my niece.
So we've got them on board. Bringing us back on track. This is Tracks. This is
nicely done.
Tracks. I didn't put his vehicle mode because when he put his wings out in his vehicle mode, the photos that I found, his fists were like sticking out to the side. So I didn't do that for him. But I did find a picture. Did I put it in? I thought I put a picture of him with a fossilizer. But I did have a nice picture of him with a fossilizer. Trax is another pretty character. You like Sunstreaker, and Trax is of course renowned for being so protective of his beautiful paintwork.
Yeah, I don't know if that says anything about me at all now that you put two and two together. Well, like Sunstreaker and Trax, and they're both kind of similar about their appearance, but I just love Trax and his just pompous attitude and his his voice, and it's like, like, oh no, I'm not interested in that, and like, no, I don't want to do that because of my reasons, he's just, I just like the character, and he's just so up himself, it's just great. He's just happy to cruise around, do what he likes. He's not really invested in the cause, and he's just enjoying the human culture and making people appreciate how he looks, and it's just interesting. It's just different to you got the other characters like Ratchet and Hound and Prowl and Ironhide, and they're all about the mission and Optimus Prime, and he's like the new wave kid on the block, just enjoying this new planet and stuff like that, and he gets all into trouble and whatever else, but doesn't really care. He does what he does. But the toy that Kingdom won, like, I was stoked to have it. When I got it in hand, I was a little disappointed, but like the bloody feet are ridiculous. But I'll just wait for another one. But still, like, I still love it. Like, I brought it here because I was just kind of trying to have some show and tell stuff with me to realize what I'm talking about. But just the design, like the colors are very striking. Like, he's blue and the white and the red face, and the hood gun thing that he's got going on, and he flies. He's a car that flies. Like, who doesn't like that? I really like that character. I don't know why, but he just stuck with me. And that episode is just iconic, with him getting worked on by the kid. And
yeah, when he got taken apart and put back together.
Yeah, but like, you know, they're Cybertronian, right? Like, how the hell did he damage himself just running into a street lamp? You know, like, come on. What, he made of aluminium or something, you know?
You're not
I don't know.
supposed to question the logic of G1.
Yeah, I know.
What's a street lamp sound wave?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
That's exactly right. It was a Cybertronian street lamp. That's what it was.
yeah.
But it is. He's a figure that he's a character that has that really struggled to get a decent figure out of him, right? Like, and
He's so tiny. Like,
such
again,
a-
I bag it out, but when you do manage to get this guy into vehicle mode and without trying to break the clear plastic and all that stuff, but it's so tight. It's so tiny. Like I understand all the gaps and everything. When you put it in the vehicle mode, you're like, damn. Like, just the engineering that happens that you see before you, when it's like, I could never do that. You know, like I'm not dumb, but I can't do that. You know, there's people that are so smart that can do this. Like, how do you think about it? I don't even know where to start. That's what blows me away. Like, it's not a Rubik's cube, but it's, you know, how do you do that? Yeah, I say that 40 years later.
Never mind the poor kid that would try to transform it, or the young adult. And Springer.
Yeah. Oh man, you know, the Han Solo of Transformers. You know, he's that character from that movie, the '86 movie. You're like, damn, that guy's cool. I want to be like him. You know, he's that. Everybody wants to be Springer, or I did anyway. There's one of those new characters where you kind of you understood that all the old characters you liked were gone, but you've got characters like Springer. I love Springer. I remember going to a kid's place when we were younger, and I was always wanted a Springer figure. And we were at this kid's place one night for like some birthday thing, and he brought out all these new toys that I'd never seen of Transformers, and one of them was Springer. I was like, oh, look at that, you know. And he's like a triple changer. That was new to me, you know. It was so awesome, you know. And I got the Siege one. I thought that was the bee's knees. I love that. I was like, finally got a bloody Springer, right? And then they did the Studio Series one, and I was like, well, you know, I don't like the upgrade very often, but that one to me was a worthy upgrade. They fixed some problems that I had with it. You know, the colors were a bit better, and you know, everything else is a bit taller, and the transformation felt a bit better to me anyway. And you know, and you had the, you know, I got better things to do than die kind of thing. That whole thing you can do, and I was like, yeah, sold. I'll upgrade that. Thank you very much. But Springer is such a cool character, man. I love him.
Yeah.
That is single-handedly the best Transformers quote of all time. I don't care what anyone says. I've got better things to do tonight than die. As he loads a giant warhead to fire a Devastator. That is the coolest scene, and that is just the cool. And I quote it at the most inappropriate times, but it is so good. It is such a great quote, and yeah, Springer is so cool.
It quote in the inappropriate times, like on the toilet, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my question was, what kind of inappropriate times do you pull that quote out, Mikey?
Dropping your own bomb.
Yeah, basically running into a room. I've got better things to do tonight than die. And then just run away.
I've been picking up your dinner. Right.
I will say, Mikey, I do have to challenge your claim of it being the best quote in Transformers.
Okay.
When we have lines like "I'm directly below enemy scrotum," I think, you know, how
Okay,
can,
to
you
be
know,
fair.
it's a tight contest.
All right.
It's a tight contest.
Let's just hold up a second. We're talking about animation versus Bayverse, so yes, we can have two separate very good quotes. And Bayverse is a whole other kettle of fish. Bayverse is.
I looked at the comments.
Mojo, stop humping the man.
I looked at the comments for half a second, and all I heard was someone mention scrotum. Like, you know, dear, Stelios, is that your contribution? It's actually a little known fact. It's actually a misquote from the local hairdresser, according to our authority, Jason. And he said,
Nice. Took me a second, but I got there.
Pretty good. That's pretty good. Such heroic nonsense from Megatron is also cool. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Indeed.
poor old Ironhide buys it right at that moment. So we've talked about how you might have an affinity for those pretty race cars, Chris, but this is actually a representation of you and your lovely partner. So
Yeah.
tell me. So
Yeah. That's very true.
Legacy Bulkhead and Earthrise RC.
Yeah, 100%. Like this Bulkhead figure is so good. Like I love this figure. It's so just stocky, and just big and bulky, and it's just nice to see a figure like this instead of your sleek, like smaller characters and the form fitting and stuff like that. And I didn't know much about Bulkhead outside of the Prime series, but this figure, I know people didn't really like it because it didn't look like the Prime series, but I think they nailed it. I mean, they got the chin in there, and like the head sculpt is awesome, and he's a big, like bulky, squarish kind of truck looking dude. And like my wife like really likes RC and the design of RC, and we were just looking at some of the figures and stuff, and I was taking some photos because we all do. I assume we do. We like to take some photos of the toys sometimes and whatever else. And I put two of them together. Like the Bulkhead, I really liked it. I took to it like it's like, oh look, it's like me if I had a toy. I've got a beard and it could be the chin. And my wife was like, oh yeah, it's kind of like you. And so I put RC and Bulkhead together in my own like head canon. And I was like, oh look, this could be us. And so that was our like Facebook social media imagery for a while where we both put it up as like us, and like my wife likes a bit of trend. Yeah, look, there's my wife. Yeah, my wife likes RC. And so my wife has a bit of an RC collection, which is nice. So we enjoy those things together, and it's just fun to do. Like you kind of insert yourself in some characters that you like, and like we all have a bit of fun with it. But yeah,
he could be a G1 bot, really. This version of Bulkhead, really, he's not that far off. The box
What's different?
G1.
Oh look, he's got one. Yeah.
He's already been released. Why are they doing it again?
What are they doing it? Oh my god! Well, like, yeah, I mean, they could be very G1. I mean, that's the whole point of that toy line is bringing characters from other animations or whatever and making it look like they fit with everything else. But it's such a cool figure. Like, I even got what's his name? The fire truck one. I can't remember his name now. It's really bad.
Heatwave.
Heatwave. Yeah. So I picked that guy up too because like, why not? Like they look cool, and I like to see bigger bots. But yeah, I mean, Earthrise RC, love or hate it, but I think it's a really good figure for shell forming, whatever. But I prefer the Earthrise one over the Studio Series one. I know it's probably blasphemy, but my wife really likes that one too. But yeah, that's the story.
That's cool. Fantastic. I've got them standing next to each other on my shelves.
Oh, nice. Oh, very good.
Yeah. So it's meant to be.
Must be.
Alex says nobody calls. That is a brilliant quote.
Yes.
Absolutely play that quote. That is a fantastic
nobody
quote.
calls from charismatic.
Charismatic.
First we crack the shell, then we crack the nuts inside.
Excellent.
And Jace, yeah, they're annoyed it's not Prime Bulkhead, but you can just go by. We've got choices, man. You got choices, and choices are good.
Right? Prime was my like big when I like really got hardcore into Transformers. I've got the first edition one. I'm happy with that. I've got the Legacy one. I'm happy with that. It's not trying to be a one-to-one copy of the original. It's its own thing, and I love
not a replacement.
Yeah, not a replacement.
Speaking of big bots, we got Ultra Magnus here, Studio Series 86 Ultra Magnus. Great figure.
Yeah,
One day I'll get it.
My wife got me this as a gift, and I love it. It's so good. Like, I don't have any masterpiece. Like I mentioned, Sunstreaker Masterpiece is the only one I've got, and like I had Siege. I still have Siege Ultra Magnus. I still really like that figure, by the way. I skipped the Kingdom one. But when this came out, I was like, oh boy. Like I don't like to upgrade a lot, and I don't really like to have many duplicates unless it's like an army builder kind of thing. But so yeah, this is my second Ultra Magnus, and I never had an Ultra Magnus as a kid either. But I really like Ultra Magnus as a character, and where like he was just the steward, so to speak, in the guidance and the mentor kind of thing, and he didn't need to be a prime kind of thing. Like I just really liked that, and he's just a bigger bot, and he just knew what he's good at, and he doesn't have time for a lot, as he says. But just the figure itself was crazy good. Like they knocked it out of the park with this one. I was stoked to get it. It sat on my desk. It was my desk bot for quite a while, and like I just kept holding it for a while. Just like, can't believe I've got this thing. It's just incredible. Like you feel the quality of the thing, you know. Like it's just what a masterpiece is. Like they're doing mini masterpieces now, like I call them. You know, like these half of these studio series or the current series that we get in the mainline, what do you want to call it, are basically like mini masterpieces. So I'm not really missing out, I don't think. Just smaller form factor, but man, it's so awesome, you know. And it's not it's a different take. Like it's more G1. Like it's not like an armor builder kind of thing like the original Siege one was, which I like that concept. We've got the internal white Optimus Prime looking thing, and he puts on the Magnus armor and just looks really awesome anyway. But yeah, it's such a great figure. I can't believe they did that for the price. I don't know a lot of third-party stuff or master. I know Masterpiece is really expensive, but it's not my wheelhouse. But just what they managed to do with this, insane. Like, I don't know, did they reissue it or something? Because I think more people should have a bit of opportunity to get this guy. Just really, really good. Really good.
Well, they've redone Siege Jetfire like a billion times, so I think this guy definitely deserves a reissue. And he'd be fantastic. He's a wonderful figure. And he had the good fortune to die in close proximity to Planet Junkion, so he got literally blown apart and reassembled like that.
Yeah. They should have took Prime to Junkion, you know. Apparently, you can die there and still come back to life, you know. And he got blown to bits. He didn't just get stabbed in the gut, you know. Like
he got like dismembered.
He didn't die. What's up with that?
You're a Hasbro collector. We've got an episode planned, which is the anti-Hasbro collector with Miles from Transformer Collectors New Zealand. So that'll be another one that we'll be having in the future. He always did. He knew his place and as a character, and he knew his role, right? And he was happy with his role, and he didn't make any great claims to fame. So he was a very endearing character as well. 100%. Outback, Outback had to come up on the show sooner or later. You know, good representation of Outback has just been released not too long ago. Yeah, don't get more than Outback. Yeah,
like I mean, come on. Like I've got this Titan. Is it Prime? Return the Titan Masters or no Titan Return or Power of the Primes Outback, like whatever it is. Like, I've had this on my desk for the longest time, and I was like, "Come on, give us a better one." Like this is really nice, but it's not as good as what we have it now. And then they finally did one, and I pre-ordered the hell out of it because it's like, yeah, I must have one. He's an adorable little Aussie, right? He's a little fella. He's got a heart of gold, but you know, it's just such a cool little toy. And I've got him proudly on the shelf now. That's a cool design. It's so 80s. I mean, come on, who chose those colors? Like, you know. You can't do that today. Like you can't. We shouldn't, but we do anyway, right? It's just so good, and I love the design, the head sculpt, and like what a clever reuse, all right, of tooling, and it's just like we're talking about variety earlier. Like how many can we have different stuff, a variety of characters, and we got a lot of the Japanese stuff that we don't get. Like they're bringing in some Japanese characters in the main line, which is good to see, and dabbling in some other series. But it's nice to see some of these more, I guess, obscure, if you want to call it. Obscure characters still getting some representation, and I think like this is, I don't know how much better they can do it for the price. I don't need another one after this. Like this one will just sit on my desk as a plaything, but this one will be my Outback on the shelf forever. Like I don't know, again, how do you improve on what they've done in the last since 2019 for the price? It's so good, right?
So let me ask you this, and boys, feel free to answer as well. What, like, Siege got you back. You know, you've obviously been around the scene for quite a number of years now. But what do you think the franchise offers now to bring fans back into the fold? Like, what do you think is attracting people back now? We talked about how Beast Wars brought people back in for you, and Armada brought you back in as well, and then Siege. But what does the franchise currently have, do you think, that attracts former fans back to the fold? Is it the figures? Is it the promise of new movies? Is it the web series? Like, where's the appeal lie these days?
It's a good question. I mean, Transformers was in a very difficult position a number of times over the years. Like Beast Wars saved Transformers, and then the Bayverse saved Transformers, basically, right? Like, if it wasn't for Bayverse, I think we'd be in a very different position where the money that generated, the billions of dollars those movies generated, and filled Hasbro's coffers, enabled them to do better stuff, right? And they knew the fan base kept coming back and coming back and coming back, and new fans. I don't like Bayverse. I'm one of those people. Like, I just don't like the designs. I'll enjoy the movies, the big smash bang robots, but the movies is like whatever. I don't like the designs. My wife really likes them. The designs anyway. The movies are dumb, but they're good fun. And I no disrespect to people that like it, but I mean, like, that last movie was terrible. And there's a reason why nobody went to see Bumblebee or Transformers 1, because the general public, like just big popcorn movies, right? Turn your brain off and enjoy some explosions and stuff. And they were great for that, right? And it was good to see Frank Welker eventually come back, and you got Peter Cullen doing what he does, for all those movies, which was great, and to keep him in the job. And but it's good. At least those movies gave us everything else that we're enjoying as well, right? So it gives people choice. And if there's a successful property, it can have the flexibility to give us more where we might not think that we wanted it before. Like, it's that whole thing about, you all know what you like, I know what I like, and sometimes it's like, yes, just give me more of what I like and nothing else, please. But then you don't know what you like until something new comes along. You're like, oh, cool. Okay, I never thought about that. And then that becomes your new favorite thing. So, I mean, I assume something like that's around the corner. They've got to do something, right? Because Rise of the Beast didn't move the needle, right? But we were clamoring for G1 stuff, and a lot of people were clamoring for Beast Wars stuff, but it just didn't do the numbers, right? And then Transformers 1 came out, and that was a great movie, right? But no one came out to see it because who was that for, right? I mean, the marketing was really bad. When I saw the movie, it wasn't like, I got to the press event here in Brisbane that came out. Thanks. Obviously, those, I don't know if they're still in the chat here, but there's people who were the reason I was there for that, and I'll thank them for it because that was an amazing night. Like, it wasn't the movie that I thought it was going to be because of how it was promoted. So that's all got to do with it, right? I think Transformers 1 could have been more successful if it wasn't promoted like the next Toy Story, which it kind of was. It was kind of like a kid's movie the way it's promoted, but it wasn't really, it was quite good, and it went dark in some areas. And I think if it was handled a bit differently, and maybe it was the character designs as well, I don't know. But it
Can I ask you?
There was no audience.
This?
Yep.
And now we have the benefit of the new Masters of the Universe movie that's come out. Now that got marketed to hell.
Yeah.
Right. So live action movie marketed to hell. Franchises obviously are of a similar age. Different journey for the Motu kind of franchise over the years, but also not drawing the numbers in. With that kind of context in mind, do we really, like, is it the marketing that Transformers 1 fell down, or is it just something to do with there's enough of a fan base to get these productions made, but there's not enough volume in the fan base to actually make these a widespread success? Or where are these franchises falling down? Because I would love to see more of these franchises come back and be huge, right? But they're missing an ingredient. And if we can fix it for the studios, and they can pay us a stipend, and we'll consult further on their projects. What do you think? Like, is that a valid point? Is that a valid?
I think so. I mean, it's death by numbers, right? Because you've got some things that work, and not everything's going to work. You can plan for the best, but if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, right? No one sets out to make a bad movie or a bomb, right? Like Masters of the Universe, loved it. So good. It deserves hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, but it's made 100, right? Yeah. And Amazon is still saying that's a success, but is that copium? I don't know. But that movie deserves so much more than what it got. It was so much fun, and it nailed it. Nailed it, right? And the casting was on point. Like the whole atmosphere, the feel, like the mythic feel of it. Yeah, it was a bit funny in areas, but so was the show. All right. And the show like if you look at it again through rose-tinted glasses back then, the show was bad, right? But it's what we had. It was so good. Like at the time, you're like, oh, these characters. I mean, I love Motu. The imagination that has in that whole thing. Like I've got the collection. My wife supported this edition of the 2021 CGI Motu series. I love that. That was a reimagination of Motu, and I loved it.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
loved it. Very, very good. And Grayskull, I've got Grayskull from that series. Such a good reimagination, right? So it's one of those properties that is capable of reimagining itself. And this movie did that, but also harken back to what it is and what all of us understand what Motu is. But I think times have just changed. Right? All the movies are bombing now. Doesn't matter how good they are. Like done are the days where you can afford to go out and see multiple movies and every movie's making $1 billion, right? Because everybody's tightening the purse strings, right? So something's going to give. Like I saw, like we were talking about Supergirl earlier, right? That movie, shocking, right? Shocking. But it's made more money than Motu, which is a crime, right? Motu is such a far superior movie, right? So it's the audience is there, but is it the right time, right? Does Motu still have a wide appeal today? Probably not, right? Transformers does, but is it the iteration that you want? Like Transformers 1 was a good movie, but the art style might not be everybody's cup of tea because they do look weird, right? They're all gangly and stuff like that, but it was a good movie, right? So Rise of the Beast probably should have done more box office than it did. That was a disappointment from a Hasbro perspective, you know. And they set up a like spoilers if you haven't seen a bloody 10-year movie or whatever, or 5, however many years old it is now. But you know, they're setting up for G.I. Joe and stuff, but that's never happened, right?
Never happened.
But I think people are wise now. Like we've been burnt so much with bad movies over the last 6-8 years. You know, people are like, yeah, I'm not going to get invested in stuff anymore because I'm spending too much money. You know, the economy's changed. I mean, Transformers are like a bloody third of the size that they used to be when we grew up, you know, because everything's so expensive. So you got to reduce the size of everything. It's all that. Like, it's all of that, right? So, yeah, I don't know. There's no real answer in there. It's like you can put something out and hope for the best. It's going to work or not. But marketing is a lot to answer for that. But you're right. To Motu's perspective, the marketing was everywhere, right? And people still didn't go. Yeah. So I think that's more of an economy thing. I mean, people went out in droves to Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's kind of the same vibe, right? Guardians of the Galaxy were nothing before that movie. Like, no one knew about them, right? It's the same thing. Like, no one knows about Motu outside of our circles, like, really, or if you grew up with it. You can't go to the corner shop and go, hey, do you know who Teela is? Or Man at Arms? And they go, what the hell are you talking about? Right? So that's
I noticed you didn't say, hey, do you know who Fisto is? Or
Let me introduce you to Fisto. Oh, don't call the police. Sorry, my bad. So you know what I mean? Like it's I mean, originality is hard to come by these days, and people just want more of the same thing. Unfortunately, Motu is new for a lot of people, and it's hard to sell something new in today's world.
Yeah, hey Campbell, the fan base has aged out, and we've talked about this during the podcast before. 80s children have children in late teens, early 20s. Didn't grow up, but kids today are more interested in watching stream games and Pokemon cards, and that's where, you know, we've talked about it. The series needs to continue to evolve. It needs to have different iterations. There needs to be quality there. Yes, you need to, you know, you want the older fans to be enamored with it, but you've got to put stuff in there that will actually draw new people in. No matter what you're doing with any sort of franchise, you've got to draw new people in.
I think retail coverage is really a problem. Sorry, Gary. Like my friend would have happily bought all the Constructicons for his kid, but in his area region where he travels to buy toys for his son and take him to the shops with him, they just didn't have the stock. So you got to wonder, like, how many complete Constructicons are in Australia? Like, would there be, I don't know, 100 or less than 100 complete ones that are in collectors' hands? Because I tried to walk around Australia and there's just not stock out there.
Yeah, well, retail coverage is like, you know, us watching TV back in the 80s and running home to do it. Retail is not what it's for any kind of anything, anywhere. And you just can't do it. And it's all being done online. Like, you need an impactful and accessible online as well. And I think part of the thing is that you need such a multi-platform reach or multi-format reach, because we're so inundated with choice that there's no focal point, right? There's no focal point for you anymore. You've got to cover everything in order to get a message across. And you made a great point, I think, Uncle Chunt, about people being burnt, right, and being wary of products or what's the word for it? IP that they're a little bit more skeptical of, because they do have limited money to invest, and they're like, yeah, like I used to collect these as a kid, or I knew something about it, or I grew up with these a little bit, but I don't know if it's a $60 $60 excursion just for me and to take one of my kids along, and that's a very fair point. Lots of stuff about this in the chat. Thank you to everyone kind of taking part in the chat. We love the love the chat that's going on.
Good the chat tonight. Good on
It
you guys
is
for speaking up.
fire. I mean,
It's on
75%
fire. Lots.
75% of it has people with the last name Hunt, but mate, we'll take it.
Yeah, but no, to be fair, no, I've got to be honest. The chat, yes, there is a lot of the Hunt family on, and thank you for joining us. But yeah, we've got great discussion. Yeah, got a great discussion going on in there. So thanks, guys. Don't forget to subscribe.
Hey, go subscribe.
Yeah,
I should. Yeah, we should say that. Yeah, subscribe and share. I've got the button here somewhere. That first couple of minutes of the Bumblebee movie, I think Alex actually said it earlier in the chat. Would love to see more of that kind of. You remember the first couple of minutes of the Bumblebee movie, the action sequence on Cybertron? That was killer. That
was Travis Knight, right? And he directed Motu. Like he knows what we like, right?
So Travis Knight has a great hit record. His first movie was Kubo and the Two Strings, which is one of the best like claymation movies you'll ever see. And then you've got Bumblebee, which is probably the best live action Transformers movie. And then you've got now He-Man, which I've already seen twice and wouldn't mind go seeing again. And like is the best kind of intro to the Masters of the Universe lore movie that you can have, that covers most of the basics and is actually just a really fun ride, and also should be making a lot more money. And my God, if we do not get a sequel or a universe from this, I will be very, very angry, because I only became a fan of Motu through Revelations, because Revelations was awesome. And not only was Revelations going on at the time, but there was another CGI cartoon going on at the time, which I found really fun as well. I can't remember the name of it. But those two shows, both I think from Netflix, got me hooked on Motu. And like this movie should be seen by people, like TF1 should have been seen by people, like Rise of the Beast should have been seen by people. But there was a comment before saying people don't know what they want. I think it was Zerty. And like, I really agree with that, because like what do we want? How do we appeal to everyone? How do we go back to the days where a Transformers movie would make over $1 billion and everyone would have seen it?
Yeah.
I was
going to say the same thing. We as fans don't know what we want. As collectors, we don't know what we want. We all do it a different way. That's, like I've grown up through all of the generations, so I've seen them all. But some people have only seen it from Armada onwards or from Bayverse onwards. So for them, what they want might be different from what I want. So I think as fans, we've created this situation where no matter what they do, it's not going to please us all. But they know that if they produce another Bayverse movie, it's going to make a shit ton of money for them. But, they might sell some toys on the side, but they just see the billions and billions of dollars that it's raking in for them from the movies. And they're not so concerned about the toys sometimes.
This is it's a great point, Scott. And it's a couple of weeks ago we did the what's taking the fun out of the fandom, and talking about toxic culture and gatekeeping and all of these things that tend to happen in these big established franchises. They they actually take steam out of the things that we all want, right? Like when this infighting, this abuse, these like getting lost up in contention, and not appreciating that we all like the same franchise. We might like different aspects of the same franchise. We may certainly have our favorites and our non-favorites, but it doesn't mean we need to trash like new iterations of it or different interpretations of it, because all it does is it creates dissent. It creates it robs the fandom of its power. And you know what other people see is they see the fighting, they don't see the fandom. And you know, we've made this comparison before with you know, in the Star Wars fandom and all that sort of stuff that's been plagued by the same issue. When new excitement, like in new projects come to light, you don't have to be excited for that particular like release, but you can be supportive of it. You can be supportive of the people that are excited of it. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't take a lot of. It actually takes less energy than the hate and the rage. Right?
You don't have to like everything.
Yeah, you don't have to, but you can be appreciative of the fact that it's moving it forward, and we're going to get new fans in that are going to keep making Hasbro money, and that's where they are. They're a business. They want to make money. So the more people they drag in and everything, and if we as fans keep going, no, we don't want this, no, we don't want that, you know, they're just going to get to a point where they're going to be like, well, we're just not going to release anything, you know?
Yeah.
I think Transformers really hit it on the head where they did the combination, like the crossovers. So whether it's the X-Men jet or the Gigawatt, the time machine car, the DeLorean, like anytime there's a combination, it ticks two boxes at once. So instead of doing the little lead up scene to G.I. Joe with Transformers, honestly, if I was in marketing, I would have said to them straight, don't even bother with that. Let's just make a G.I. Joe Transformers movie straight away. And when it comes to Masters of the Universe, like, I think it's going to tank a bit because it's too male centric, and they should have done a She-Ra and He-Man straight off the bat. That would have picked up the numbers. So I think from a marketing perspective, hitting multiple boxes should be the key goal in the future, rather than just ticking one and hoping for the best and seeing how you go with that. Because the other thing too is with Transformers movies, there isn't enough representation between the cons and the Autobots. The Decepticons get a few small scenes here and there, and then you're left with these plot devices about human interaction with Autobots, and it's like, that's a distraction from the story. We want to see bots, not people. Like,
that's why one did so well, because we actually got pretty much. I mean, look, obviously it wasn't established in the movie. Well, it was established by the end of the movie, but we got to see a lot of Sentinel and Arachnid. We got to see a lot of Prime and D16, and I think we would all be happy if we could have a Transformer movie that has little to no humans. And the one that, funnily enough, the one that had no humans was liked most by the fans, and if was marketed well, would have been the best movie. So, and probably the best selling movie. So, I mean, I wish they'd learned from this. They're not going to, because all they see is, oh, well, Transformers 2 made over $1 billion. We're just gonna do fart jokes and slow motion boobs and all this stuff that worked back then. They're gonna just rehash all of that, and that's all we're gonna get. They're just gonna be frat party, you know, teen movies. Which, look, some people like that. I don't mind them. I don't hate them. But I was introduced to a movie called Transformers 1, which was superb. And that's where we thought we were going. That's the line that we thought we were going in. And now it seems they're just going to bring Michael Bay back, and we're just going to have, you know, a dog humping another dog, and that's a Transformers movie.
Oh,
so, you know,
amazing, isn't it?
My friends used to, every time I'd see him, he'd complain, I want Megatron from Transformers 1. It wasn't available anywhere close by. So it was like, I kept an eye out on my travels to look for it, but I couldn't find him one. And it's like, it's letting the fans down, like not having proper releases to match with the movies.
Yeah.
Well, if it means we've got to
Yeah.
inject to the or back to the lowest common denominator to
Yeah.
put fuel back into the franchise to keep it alive, if that's where we're at, unfortunately, like bringing Michael Bay, it's a very good point. Bringing Michael Bay back was like such a, well, duh. Of course they're going to do that because you're right. They looked at
Billions and billions of dollars.
This didn't make the money that they did when he was on it. Like, let's like break the glass. Let's go back there. Like, oh my god, But I think I'd like to hope that we've moved on from that. But maybe I'm wrong. But anyway.
100%, we haven't.
No. Yeah.
What about the up and coming generation, which Stelios is the closest of all of us, I think, or maybe Mikey too. Mikey, I might be 80.
Hey,
But anyway,
I'm not 30 yet. It's coming, but it's not here yet.
Anyway, they talk about series like, and this is like not way off topic, but it's a very different kind of series. But they talk about like the American Pie movies. The American Pie movies couldn't have been made today, right? Because it just doesn't appeal. That humor, the way it's portrayed, the situations they're in, it just doesn't kind of wash with the current generation, right? And we've been through this cycle before. So if they brought back Michael Bay, and he did go, and it took me a while to work out why Mikey was talking about boobies with a robots movie, but if they did bring Michael Bay back, would he have to actually change his style a little bit in order to appeal to the current generation?
Yeah, Michael Bay. The reason why I say that is because in the first 3 Transformers movies, the women were overly sexualized. I think we can all agree that. Like they were running in slow motion. Dark of the Moon was the 3rd of the Michael Bay movies, and one of the opening scenes is Rosie Huntington-Whiteley walking up the stairs, and we look directly up her anus. So, like, if you don't
$1 billion.
$1 billion. So maybe we need to bring more. Maybe we need to bring more hot women into our movies, and it's just like
you're bang on. It's a problem.
Yeah, maybe that's what we need. I think. Yeah. Go on.
No, you're right. It's a problem. Like you're not going there for that. Like we're not going there for that. But there's other dumb people.
There is a certain demographic that is going there for that, though, and I think that's the one that brings in the money.
Oh, look, I just looked up her skirt. Oh, that was cool. But it's like, like you can do that for free on the internet whenever you like. Like we don't need that. Yeah. Like just give us the robots and who we came to see. Like, yeah, I get it. It's frustrating. But there we go. Like it's the lowest common denominator that come out in droves. Like it is what it is. Sorry, that sucks. I wish it wasn't like that, but here we are.
The comics have gotten a refresh with the Energon universe. And hey, Campbell, I'm looking to do an episode where we actually dive into that Energon universe with this couple of special guests down the track. So I'm looking forward to exploring that. But there's talk of that being given the TV series treatment by the same people that did Invincible. Yeah. So that would be an interesting thing, and that would appeal obviously to an older demographic, providing that they do it in the way that actually does that series justice. I mean,
it would also appeal because if they use the same people that did this Invincible series, guess who 2 high-profile Transformers voice actors are on Invincible? Peter Cullen and Frank Welker. So they could bring them back for like maybe one last ride, please.
Oh man, that's so good.
Frank Welker's definitely still got it. Peter Cullen, unfortunately, he's losing it a little bit, but he could do an aged Optimus Prime, which wouldn't be bad.
The man is in his 80s.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying that he's you lose it with age. Your voice only stays so. Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's been a very interesting night, and it's certainly a great topic of discussion. We would love to hear more. The audience, the comments tonight have been, and chat has been phenomenal. It's been really, really special. We appreciate it very much. So for our audience that's watching both live and in replay, throw some thoughts in the chat. What brought you back to Transformers? Why did you ever leave in the first place? But what brought you back if you did leave? It would be fantastic to hear more thoughts on this and more discussion on this, because I think the more that we kind of talk about what brings people back, and the more we explore what brings new people into the franchise and new generations into the franchise, the better chance this franchise has for surviving the future. So it's a great discussion to have, and I certainly appreciate everyone being part of it tonight. Let's talk a little bit as we start to kind of wind up here. Let's talk about this book that you mentioned right at the start, Chris. This is your book, Quijibo and Harold. You're now working on the sequel to it. It is available on Amazon. You can grab this book. Tell us a little bit about these two characters.
I laugh because it's just funny, like to me anyway. Like I've never done a book before, and I felt it was one of those periods of time where I was feeling very artistically challenged, and I just wanted an achievement to do something to say that I've done something like artistically instead of not doing anything forever. Because I ended up in analysis paralysis, and I was just looking for something that I could just do outside of work that didn't need to commit like hundreds of hours to, because I can't do that. And I just wanted to figure it out and how to do it. So I mentioned that story about it at the start about these two characters that I came up with after a drunken stupor of a night after a gig, and this is who they are. And it's just this innocence of darkness and silly places that you end up, and it's about friendship and being oblivious to the dangers but learning a journey, right, and with your friend along the way. And it just came out of anywhere. Like I made it up, and it just came to me and just went along with it. And I wrote it as if it's a kid's book. I'm not taking it too seriously, but I had a lot of fun with it, and it sold enough, right? I put it out there, and it did well, at least in my the way I perceive as a success anyway. It did well enough that I was like, you know what, I'll do another one. You know, because people enjoyed it, like the reviews were good. You know, I got messages and DMs about it, like, hey, that was great, I really like this about it. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, there's some of the negative stuff, like, oh, cool, that's good to know too. Like, it's my first thing. It's good to learn like what works and what doesn't. But the second one that I'm working on now, it's building on that, but injecting a lot of lore into it. Like we were talking about Master of the Universe, and I'm not comparing this to Master of the Universe, but like I love the lore, right? Everybody loves to get into a bit of lore and world building, stuff like that. So I figured if I'm going to do another one, I'm going to throw a lot of lore in it and build a world and new characters, and I'll just have fun with it. And it's still a kid's book. It's a bit dark, but there's positive stories in there about losing your way and how you manage to find yourself back again. And it's okay to feel sad, and it's okay to be like friends with people that might not want to be friends with you, but you can extend the olive branch. And you know, it's good to protect people and want to protect people, and like all these lessons in growing up and family and, you know, mother and father and all this stuff. And I put a lot into this next one because I thought, well, if I'm going to do another one, I want to have a better go at it and not just use it as a project to see if I can do something, right? So I animated this book, like I converted it to an animated series on YouTube as well, because I'd never animated something before, like except that random one back in the day. You know, so I got the software, Clip Studio Paint, and I taught myself how to animate frame by frame. And you know, I read the book, like I narrated the series myself, and just had fun with it. You know, it's out there on YouTube now, and I've done that too. You know, it's just that thing of like, oh, I spent so many years of wanting to do stuff, but I never did the doing of it because life was complicated, right? But you just extend yourself a little bit more and put the time in. You know, my wife's a big supporter. Like, you know, she's telling me to do it. You know, do that. I'm like, cool. I'll go. You know, I'll do it, even though I'm tired. You know, I'll go do it. You know, I've got it done. I'm over the line now, and you know, it's just good to see. You know, you got to build yourself in some ways and build some skills. And this is going to lead into my next stuff, like a proper comic book. Like we're talking about comics and G.I. Joe and Transformers and Motu and, you know, Superman and Supergirl. We've all talked about that kind of stuff. And I've always wanted to make a comic book to put on my shelf next to all my other ones, right? So that's my next goal. So, you know, I'm not saying it's like going to change the world or whatever, but like I'm so proud of it because it's my first thing I've ever done. And people out there saw something in it that they bought it. You know, how cool is that? I mean, to me, that's amazing. Like, I didn't think I'd sell one copy, right? You know, and I understand. Like, sorry, go for it.
Just from this little splurge about it, you intrigued me enough that I literally just hopped on Amazon and I just bought one. So,
Oh my god! Oh man, thank you. That's amazing.
the art's really cute, and the way you've described it sounds really cool.
Oh wow, thank you, man.
Yeah, I just thought I might even when I get it, I can just where are you based again?
Brisbane.
I'll ship it up to you, and you can do a signed copy for me if that's all right.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh wow, that's bloody hell, definitely. Man! You just floored me for the night. Thank you. That's
Yeah,
I got a I'll see. Hold on.
Bloody hell.
There you go. Amazon. You have a well, I've bought it, and it should be on its way soon.
Oh, bloody hell. Oh, that's awesome, man. Thank you very much. That's incredible. I didn't expect anything like that, but thank you. I'll be happy to do that. That's fine, mate. And we can arrange that. And yeah, thank you. I'm lost for words now. I didn't know what I was going to say.
Well, if you want to watch the animated series as well, it's at Koala Inc. on YouTube. So track that down, and you can tune into the series, buy the book, get it signed, and when we queue up to get Chris to sign all of our copies, we can all know exactly what to say.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, good on you. Oh, man. Well, who knows? Like the whole thing, like Australian creators are very rare, right? And I want to be one. Like the goal is I want to build enough of my own stuff so I can have a desk or a table at Supernova and sell like an artist alley, and show my stuff and be a part of that and put myself out there. And it's a lot of effort and it's a lot of work, but yeah, hey Paige. Well, I'm glad you think so. So that's the goal, right? And you can't.
You think he is?
Nothing's gonna happen. Yeah, nothing's gonna happen if you don't try, right? And I'm trying to, and everybody should. Like if you've got a goal that you want to do or achieve, like you're the only obstacle, I'll say. Like there's always tools and knowledge and everything that you can pull from, but you've got to do it. And that book, that's what that book has done for me anyway. Like I did the first one, and it was always the hardest one because I didn't know how to publish a book. I didn't know what to do and how to do it. And you just figure it out, and you're cool, you've done one, you can do it again. So yeah, it might not mean a lot to other people, but that's what it means to me. It's a silly little book, but it's done a lot for my mindset and my future thought and what I can do next. So but yeah, thanks, man. That's amazing. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it, and I'll give it a good review, and I'll get it up to you for a signature.
Legend. Thank you, sir.
One of the things that appealed to me when I watched your channel, Chris, and you put up a video because, like we discussed earlier in the episode, you've been around, streaming and media production for 16 years. But you released a video that was kind of it was a very honest and frank look at your journey, right? And it was a very retrospective in terms of what this hobby, what fandom means to you, what being involved in it and being able to talk about it does for you as a person and how it helps you out. And I appreciated the frankness of that discussion, especially when it's just, you speaking into the microphone. And that was a very appealing video. So if you want a very genuine personality on the internet and someone on YouTube to watch, please go have a look at some of Uncle Chunt's content because he really does speak from the heart and he speaks it very well.
Oh, wow, thanks, mate. That's awesome. Thank you, sir.
He's also a brilliant baritone, so that's fantastic as well.
Yeah, he does an awesome Beast Wars Megatron.
Yeah, and honestly, though, it was one of the things that was very endearing. I want to give a shout out to our TNT Neon Prime, North Carolina in the house this morning.
Oh, wow.
What time is it there? But
That's
thank you for joining us. Love the shirt, love the collection, and love that you've crossed the pond electronically to join us tonight. Let us know what time it is for you, Neon Prime. So Uncle Chunt, I pulled this from his Instagram. He's on Instagram, koalainc.com. I just realized that when I screenshot this that I cut off half of your links. So
that's all right.
UncleChunt.com. And he's on YouTube as Uncle Chunt. Is there anywhere else that people can find you that you're active these days, Chris?
Oh, it's all linked through there, mate. Like just my two websites. It's where everything is and all the social links are there. But yeah, like Threads, Instagram, X, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Did I say that? Yeah. Anyway, but those are the main ones. I mean, if I'm not on it, I'm not going to be. So it's those main ones. That's enough. Bloody hell, there's too many social platforms, mate. It's ridiculous.
Too many. It is Cheese TV time for TNT Neon Prime, and Neon Prime. If you want to learn more about Cheese TV, I'm sure we're going to talk about it at some point, because it showed a lot of the brilliant shows.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe and share. Yeah, hang on. Try again, Mikey. Go again.
Please subscribe, like, comment, and subscribe. Whoa, I did it.
Oh, there it is.
I summoned the button.
Look at us. We look like professionals.
Now, gents, this is the thing. We put on a little competition with a couple of little Bumblebee prizes when we hit 86 subscribers. And Josh let me know earlier in the episode that we have hit 86 subscribers. 5 weeks in, or 4 and a bit weeks in. We have actually, I tell a lie, we have now hit 90 subscribers.
Excellent.
Oh, wow.
Well done. Awesome.
Calm down, guys. Keep coming.
We're coming for you, PewDiePie and Mr. Beast. You just wait. We're on our way.
We're on our way.
Awesome.
So thank you
Well
so
done.
much to everyone that subscribes, commented, watches the replay. We really appreciate it. This just started as like a request to bring the community together in a couple of Facebook groups, and before I knew it, we were streaming before I even knew what we were doing, and we're still kind of working it out, but we appreciate it very, very much. So we're going to work out, among the things we're going to work out how to send these, to draw these prizes from our subscriber list and send them out to you as a winner, and we'll announce that next week. So we got a little Bumblebee statue here, kind of with, a little animated smirk going on there. He looks a bit smarmy there. I don't know if you want a smarmy Bumblebee on your shelf, that you could win that, and a nice little Bumblebee Hot Wheels figure. That would be fantastic. We want to thank you all. Upcoming. So we've started to lock in upcoming episodes, and so we've got BP Arts, independent artist. He is prevalent at Supernova. He had a bit of a fall after celebrating after a recent one, so he couldn't make Sydney, but he is a regular at Artist Alley. So he's going to talk about Marvel. We're going to talk about Marvel UK comic run and how that shaped his vision as an artist. And he has some beautiful work. So I'm looking forward to bringing that up on the screen. 12th of July, it's the panel. We'll have to fight for spots because we've got 6 spots and our panel is larger than 6 spots. But this is the question. You can only keep 5 Transformers. What makes the cut? And if you're a single character collector like our following week's guest will be, which Triptychon would you choose? Or which time would you choose if you can only keep 5? Now, there may be a technicality. I don't know if we need to rule this out. But what about the combiner teams? If it's a combiner team, does that classify as one bot for the just sold mode? Are people going to try and find a loophole, or does that still classify as 5?
I think what we've got to agree at is if your favorite character is Devastator, then and that's what you want, then that's one bot. It's only fair. That can't, I don't. And that's 6. It's already 6. There you go. So
that's right. Combined is combined forever, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
And like. Unless you're like, oh, I love Swindle but don't care for the Combaticons, which like me, then I'll just pick Swindle. But like, if your favorite character, like my favorite combiner is Devastator, so I will pick Devastator and then I'd pick a Swindle, but I'm not going to necessarily take Bruticus as well.
That's fair.
It's going to be an interesting discussion. 5 Transformers from your collection. What makes the cut?
If it's an Armada character. If it's an Armada character with a minicon, the minicon is part of the one, so you can't leave out the minicon.
I agree with that. That's law. That's a rule.
Yeah.
All right. What if it was before you?
What about headmasters? Imagine that.
Come on, that's you can't.
What about Target Masters?
Power Masters.
They're built in. They're the one figure.
Yeah.
You can't have.
Chaos.
What's his name? Cyclonus without Nightstick. You know what I mean? We can.
It's going to be a good
Those
episode.
Japanese
That's coming up on
Masters where
12th of
the
July.
Transformers are transsectors.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. So you go to keep 5 Transformers. What makes the cut? Uncle Chunt, if you could send it to us, and we'll bring it up in the episode as well as our other guests. And then 19th July, we have our first international guest, all the way from the Netherlands. The Triptychon guy, got it, Walter. He has a brilliant collection of Triptychons, cool. And we're going to explore into why he made the change, or why he collects one character, what he loves so much about Triptychon. And we're going to ask some other people who collect 1 or 2 characters and variants, and that's it, and have that discussion, because I think that's a really, really great one discussion to have. Any final thoughts from the panel? Stel?
About the whole, if you can only keep 5, if your favorite character is Soundwave, do you count the tapes?
Nah.
Right.
I'm gonna say yes because
Don't answer that
Soundwave...
now. They're gonna watch the episode. They're gonna
no, and yes.
To be continued.
They gotta do this. They gotta do this. They gotta do that.
Oh, like and subscribe.
You did it.
Yeah, I did. You did it again. Scott, any final thoughts on why people are coming back to Transformers? Otherwise, we have to start another episode.
I enjoyed that one. The only thing I'm going to add in, not that it's related to any of that, is if anyone's on the mobile game, the new one, the Transformers Forever Wars, I believe it is, I've got a Aussie Botcast thing set up, the unions, whatever they call them. So if anyone wants to join, just look us up and you'll find us. And I'm on there as, obviously, Fuckweasel. I'm everywhere as Fuckweasel. It's easy to find me.
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome. Yep. We'll come back to you, Chris. Mikey?
Yeah, no, really happy with this episode. Love to have Uncle Chunt on board. Yeah, look, I'm happy. I was really, really happy with the engagement this week, and having even, people from outside Australia joining and that have subscribed is awesome. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, please, I'm pretty sure everyone here subscribed anyway, but share with your family and your friends. And we're trying to grow. We're trying to, again, connect Australia, connect New Zealanders, just connect the world, with us. And, we want to spread, love, happiness, and joy about Transformers. And yeah, please continue to just come and hang out, watch again, even comment on the video afterwards, whatever you want. But yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe, guys. It means a lot.
I think what we could do, gents, is we find people with really large families, invite them on as guests, and then make sure that they compel the rest of their family to watch and
just subscribe.
It wasn't something we just stumbled upon with Chris tonight, but I think it's something we could be onto something here, right?
Yeah. We'll just get big Italian families, big Chinese families. Just get all these, groups. Yeah.
You don't need to be able to say anything. We can fill in the gaps. Just come on and invite all your family and subscribe, and it'll be fine. Josh, final thoughts from you, my friend.
The thing that keeps me going with Transformers is the endless hunt. Like when cool stuff is out and about, and I'm on the road with work, I just really enjoy just perusing shops, and if there is something cool enough to tickle my biscuit and go, fuck yeah, I want that, I'll do it. I'll jump the gun, and yeah, it just keeps me going. Retail in Australia, if you travel a lot, is actually quite good. I remember finding the final part of the Duocon Skytrad all the way down in Canberra, and it was like I'd searched every shop from all the way past Sydney, everywhere. I couldn't find it, but some random Kmart in Queanbeyan near Canberra had the Duocon part, and I was like stoked, After such a long journey to find parts, it's really good.
Nice one.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And you've also added another quote to the night: "Tickle my biscuit." So fuck yeah, why don't I?
Yeah, Josh, I was about to say, if I ever meet you, I would be more than glad to tickle your biscuit for you, buddy. Happily.
Nice. Take it to the bank.
Anyway, Mikey, you're out of control tonight, Mikey. Your filter is just shot. Just because you know you're going to the UK soon, they're a lot more gentrified than we are. So you're gonna have to wash out that potty mouth.
I'm going to prop her up.
You're developing. Look, I really wanted to explore this topic with you guys because I think it's what filter. Yeah, I really want to explore this topic with yourselves and the audience, and we got some really great feedback of what brought people back into the franchise. And look, if you're in a group and you're in a community and people are coming back and they're tempted to come back, be welcoming, right? They don't have to like the same thing as you like in the franchise, but be welcoming because we need people to come back to this franchise to keep it going and to have the community interactions that support it. And I think that's a really wonderful thing. Chris, final thoughts on tonight, my friend. Thank you so much for coming on. As you can tell, we're very appreciative. Final thoughts from you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I was stoked to be invited, and you're right. I mean, I like all the messaging there, and just be inviting, and lead with kindness and all that kind of stuff, right? And it's good to see like Australian people creating content and building those connections, and like there's not a lot of it, so it's good to be a part of it and support something like that. And hopefully we'll see more. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys grow and build the community. And there's a lot of Transformers and fans in Australia, and hopefully they find the channel and the group and see the success and all that stuff. And hell yeah, I'll be there every week, right? And it's just good to be here, and good to see you guys doing it consistency. Like that's the hard part, but you guys are doing it, it's good. So keep it going, and we'll all be watching. So thanks for having me.
100%. I put a message out to the group today that I'm a bit weary from the week, and my brain was a bit foggy, and I did my own workout to kind of get myself some pump on. But I told the boys to bring the energy and the charm, and they absolutely delivered. So thank you, everyone, for being part of the panel tonight. We will be back next week, 5th of July, with BP Arts, Brad from BP Arts. We're going to talk about the Marvel UK Transformers run, and how that shaped his artwork and vision. And if you're an independent artist, you're a voice artist, you're an actor, you're anything that kind of is creative, we're looking to find ways to showcase you, connect the community, and we're very excited to have that up for next week. And I know Brad's excited as well, so please do tune in. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, fans of Transformers, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Ta-ra.
Toodle pip.